Dramas are compositions in verse or prose intended to portray the lives of the characters, or to tell stories involving conflicts and emotions through action and dialogue, and typically designed for both theatrical and televised performances. The history of drama and its further details will be presented in this lecture. Let's all watch this.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are going to embark on the long yet fascinating journey through the history of drama. Are you ready? I hope your scenes the lecture will shed the light of the pivotal event and influential people that helped to shape drama as we know it. Okay, now let's start at the beginning. The earliest origin of drama was found in Athens, where the ancient hymns called Dinorams were sung in honor of the god Dionysus. Later on this hymn were adopted the choral procession in which participants would dress up in costumes and masks. Through certain members of the chorus take special roles within the procession, they were not actors in the way we would understand them. Before we continue, please advise that we will encounter these acronyms within our lesson. First, BC means before Christ. BCE means before Common Era. AD means Anno Domini or after death. CE means Common Era. BP means before the present. Okay, going back, the turning point came in the 6th century BC under the role of Pisistratus, who introduced the new public festivals, including the city Donoesia dedicated to Dionysus. City Donoesia is a festival featuring the competition in music, singing, dancing, and poetry. It was here where the most remarkable winners were called Thespis, wandering bard astounded audience by the leaping onto the wooden cart and embodying characters through poetry, become the world's first actor and giving the rise to the term Thespian.
According to our source, the first plays were held in the theater of Dionysus, performed with just one actor called a protagonist, and a chorus of people who helped him to tell the story. As time progressed, playwrights like Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides continued to innovate. Aeschylus, the playwright of the Persians, the oldest surviving of all Greek plays, introduced a second speaking role, the antagonist, and reduced the chorus from 50 to 12, while Sophocles added a third actor, and Euripides introduced the prologue and Deus ex machina, a divine figure who wrapped up any loose ends at the close. These advancements enriched storytelling and character dynamics on stage. Theater became a cultural phenomenon, with wealthy citizens sponsoring plays through the Cordia tax. The theater of Dionysus, nestled beneath the Acropolis, became a hub of artistic expression and political intrigue, where plays not only entertained but also served as platforms for social commentary and ambition. And that is the history of drama.
Now that you have learned the history of drama, let's move on its classification. Dramas were classified according to three different types of genre, and the first one is comedy. The first comedies were mainly satirical and mocked men in power for their vanity and foolishness. The first master of comedy was playwright Aristophanes. Much later, Menander wrote comedies about ordinary people and made his plays more like sitcoms. The second classification is tragedy. which dealt with the big themes of love, loss, pride, the abuse of power, and the fraught relationship between men and gods. Typically, the man protagonist of a tragedy commits some terrible crime without realizing how foolish and arrogant he has been. Then, as he slowly realizes error, the world crumbles around him. The three great playwrights of tragedy were Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides. Aristotle argued that tragedy cleans the heart through the pity and terror, purging us out of our petty concerns and worries by making us aware that there can be nobility in suffering. He called his experience catharsis. The third classification place is the satire, which were formed by between the acts of tragedies and made fun of the plight of the tragedy characters. The satires were mythically half human, half goat. Figures and actors in this place were large palaces for comic effect. Few examples of these plays survive. They are classified by some authors as tragicomic or comedy dramas.
In summary, here's the list of the playwrights and their contributions in the field of drama. Aeschylus, the father of Greek tragedy, died in 456 BC, relatively early in Pericles' long career as Athens' leading politician. He added a second speaking role called the antagonist and reduced the chorus from 50 to 12. He left a number of important plays that still survive today, including the Persians and the Arestia. Sophocles, Aeschylus' pupil, added a third actor in the play. He also wrote Antigone, Oedipus at Colonus, and Oedipus Rex. Euripides, Aeschylus' pupil, added a boat prologue and Deus Ex Machina, wrote the Trojan trilogy of which only the Trojan women survives, as well as two other important plays about the roles of women, the Venetian women and the Bacchae. Aristophanes, the leading comic author of Athens, who did not produce his first play until 427 BC, 2 years after Pericles' death, specialized in what we call political satire, and of his 11 surviving plays, Lysistrata, and the Arcanians, and the Clouds.
Good morning, everyone. So today we will delve into the 30 elements of drama. Let's start with action. Can anyone give me an example of action in a dramatic context?
Action could be a character's decision to confront their fears.
Excellent. Now, how does audience influence the action?
The audience reaction can shape the character's choice.
Precisely. Moving on to conflict. So what types of conflicts can drive a plot?
Internal conflicts like man versus self or external conflicts such as man versus society.
Great insight. So let's introduce some contrasts. How can contrast create tension in a scene?
Contrasting characters or settings can highlight themes or amplify conflicts.
Exactly. Now, let's discuss the convention. So what conventions do we typically see in drama?
Conventions like soliloquies or breaking the fourth wall can engage the audience.
Very good. Can anyone share a memorable dramatic moment from a play or drama?
The climax of Romeo and Juliet when they meet their tragic fate.
Excellent example. Now let's talk about energy. So how can actors manipulate energy on stage?
By controlling their movements, gestures, and vocal delivery.
Spot on. So let's shift our focus to language or text. So how does the choice of words impact on stage or in a scene?
Language sets the tone and reveals the character emotions and tensions.
Absolutely. Now let's explore dramatic metaphor. So how can metaphors enrich a dramatic piece?
Metaphors add depth and layers of meaning to dialogue and image.
Well said. Moving on to mood or atmosphere. So how can setting and lighting affect the mood of a scene?
A dimly lit room can create a sense of mystery or foreboding.
Perfect. Now, let's incorporate some movement. How can physical movement convey emotions?
A character's postures and gestures can reveal their inner turmoil or confidence.
Excellent observation. Let's not forget about the plot or the story. So, what elements are essential for a compelling plot?
A strong conflict, rising action, and a satisfying resolution.
Spot on. Now let's discuss posture. So, how can posture reflect a character's state of mind?
Slumped shoulders can indicate defeat, while standing tall can show confidence.
Precisely. Now let's explore relationships. So, how do character dynamics drive the plot forward?
Complex relationships and layers of intrigue and tension to the story.
Well said. Let's incorporate some rhythm. So, how can pacing impact the audience's experience?
A fast paced scene can build excitement, while a slow rhythm can create suspense.
Exactly. Now let's delve into rule or the character. So, how do characters evolve throughout the story?
Characters undergo growth or change based on their experiences and decisions.
Spot on. Now, let's set the setting or the place. So, how does the setting contribute to the overall story?
The setting establishes the context and influences character behavior.
Well said. Let's introduce a situation. How can a sudden change in circumstances create drama?
Unexpected situations force characters to adapt and reveal their true nature.
Precisely. Now, let's incorporate the sound or music. How can sound enhance the atmosphere of a scene?
Music can evoke emotions and set the tone for different moments.
Absolutely. Let's explore space. How does the physical space affect the dynamics between characters?
The proximity or distance between the characters can symbolize their relationships.
Excellent observation. Now let's introduce some spectacles. How can visual elements captivate the audience?
Spectacle like elaborate costumes or special effects can enhance the theatrical experience.
Well said. Let's ensure our structure is solid. How does a well structured narrative engage the audience?
A clear beginning, middle, and end guide the audience through the story.
Precisely. Now let's incorporate symbols. How can symbols convey deeper meanings within a story?
Symbols represent abstract ideas or themes, adding layers of interpretations.
Absolutely. Let's introduce some tension. How can tension keep the audience engaged?
Uncertainty and anticipation compel the audience to keep watching.
Well said. Now let's explore the theme. How do universal themes resonate with audiences?
Themes like love, betrayal, and redemption resonate because they reflect human experiences.
Exactly. Let's not forget about time. How can time manipulation enhance storytelling?
Flashbacks or foreshadowing can deepen the narrative and build suspense.
Precisely. Now let's ensure our timing is impeccable. So how can well-timed moments elevate a performance?
Timing can create comedic effects or heighten dramatic tension.
Absolutely. Finally, let's focus on voice. So how does vocal delivery influence character portrayal?
Tone, pitch, and pace convey emotions and intentions, bringing characters to life.
Well done, everyone. So that concludes our discussion on the 30 elements of drama. Remember to incorporate these elements into your own creative work. Until next time, and keep exploring the world of drama. So, our next topic is about the types of drama, and that will be discussed by the next lecturer on the day of your acting workshop.
Good day, everyone. I am Erica. Let's first dive into the mesmerizing world of these types of drama. Swirl your minds and make the best of your knowledge in this workshop. Thank you. So the first one is comedy, drama, or tragicomedy. Please read the definition, Miss Sagarino.
So, comedy drama or the tragedy comedy, it is a form of comedy that merges elements of tragedy and comedy together. So, it is often placing a dramatic characters in comedic situations or introducing comedic characters into dramas.
Image a play where funny things happen, but also some sad or serious moments pops up unexpectedly. It's like mixing laughter with tears, creating a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes serious characters find themselves in silly situations, or funny characters face challenges that makes you feel for them. For example, Kamsawi is a 2016 Filipino comedy drama film about the five broken women enter a boot camp that specializes in helping people ease their pain and move on in life. This comedy drama film is full of laughter and heartbreaking moments that you will enjoy. Now the second is drama. Please read the definition, Miss Lim.
Okay, Miss, so drama. This is a composition whether in verse or prose intended to portray life or character or to tell a story usually involving conflict and emotion through action and dialogue and typically designed for theatrical performance.
So it is a story being told on stage like a play or a theater show. This story is all about life, characters, and their feelings. There usually some kind of problem or conflict that the characters have to deal with. They talk to each other, they do things, and they show how they feel through what they say and do. It's like watching real life unfold right in front of you with all its ups and downs. The third one is dramatic literature. So, what is dramatic literature? Please read, Miss Manando.
This refers to the characters of plays that can be read as distinct from being seen and heard in performance.
So, dramatic literature is like reading a script for a play instead of watching it performed on stage. It's the written words of play, including the dialogue between characters, stage directions, and description of scenes. So you're reading it like a story in a book. You can imagine the characters, the setting, the action in your mind as you read along. Like Wattpad, the home of 90 plus million readers and writers who connect to the power of story, making it the world's most loved social storytelling platform. So I'm gonna pass the next type to our next literature.
Hello everyone, I am Michelle. So the fourth is docudrama. So Mr. Ruel Galapin, can you please read the definition?
This refers to a television show whose story is based on an event or situation that really happened, although it is not intended to be accurate in every detail.
Imagine watching a TV show that tells a story based on something that really happened in the past. It might be about a historical event, a famous person, or even a recent news story. But here's the twist. While the show is inspired by real events, it doesn't stick to every detail exactly as it happened. Some things might be changed or exaggerated to make the story more entertaining or dramatic. So it's like a mix of reality and fiction where you can enjoy the story while knowing that it's not completely accurate. Example, General Luna 2015, directed by Gerald Tarob. This historical biopic tells the story of General Antonio Luna, a Filipino general during the Philippine-American War. So the next type is farce. Miss Irene Lascania, can you please read the definition?
This is a type of drama and a subcategory of dramatic comedy that uses improbable humorous situations, extensive exaggeration, and a violent physical humor to entertain the audience.
So imagine watching a play or a show where everything is just silly and over the top funny. That's what a farce is all about. In a farce, the situations are totally crazy and unrealistic. It's like a non-stop roller coaster of laughter where the more absurd things get, the funnier it gets. So the next type is horror. Miss Giselle Sagarino, can you please read the definition?
Okay, so horror is a genre of literature, film, and television that is meant to scare, startle, shock, and even repulse audiences. So the key focus of a horror novel, a horror film, or horror TV show is to elicit a sense of dread in the reader through frightening images. It could be themes also and situations.
This is watching a scary movie or reading a spooky story that gives you goosebumps and make your heart race. That's what horror is all about. Horror stories have creepy images, ghostly themes, and situations that make you jump or squirm in your seat. The main goal is to give you that spine-tingling feeling or fear and anticipation, keeping you on the edge of your seat until the very end. That is how horror is made. So the next types will be discussed by the next lecturer, Miss Rishondag.
Hello, I am Rich Dayan, and the next one is melodrama.
A sensual dramatic piece with exaggerated characters and exciting events intended to appeal to the emotions.
So, this is a dramatic story where everything feels big and intense. It's like a soap opera or a dramatic play. That's melodrama. In melodramas, the characters are often exaggerated that you might have a really virtuous hero and an extremely villainous villain. The events that happen are super exciting and dramatic. It is meant to tug at your heartstrings and make you feel all sorts of emotions from sadness to anger and to joy. It's like a roller coaster ride of feelings where every moment is turned up to the max to keep you hooked and invested in the story. Okay, so the next type is the morality play.
Yes, Miss Saw. Morality play, a kind of drama with personified abstract quality as a main character and presenting a lesson about good conduct and characters. Popular in 15th and early 16th century.
Imagine a play where characters aren't just people, but ideas or qualities like honesty, greed, or kindness come to life as characters. These characters act out a story where they show the audience what happens when you make good or bad choices. It's like watching a lesson unfold on stage about how to be a better person and make the right decisions. These plays were really popular a long time ago back in the 15th and early 16th century. Okay, so the next type is opera.
It is a dramatic presentation which is set to music. Almost all of it is sung, and the orchestra is the equal partner with the singers.
Okay, opera is like a really cool show where people sing the whole time instead of just talking. The singers and the music are both super important and they work together like best buddies. So imagine a play where people shout out songs instead of just talking. And at the same time, you've got a whole orchestra backing up the singers, making it a real team effort, which makes it really cool and magical. So I'm passing the next stage to the next lecturer.
Hello everyone, I am Shireen and the next type is romantic drama. Please read the definition of romantic drama, Miss Lasconia.
A genre that explores the complex side of love. The plot usually centers around an obstacle that is preventing love between two people. The obstacles in romantic drama film can range from a family's disapproval to forbidden love to one's own psychological restraints.
Romantic dramas are like roller coasters of love where the journey is filled with twists and turns. Imagine this two people are head over heels for each other, but there's always something getting in the way, so it's a genre that tugs at your heartstrings and keep you on the edge of your seat, rooting for love against all odds. The next one is theater of the absorbed. Please read the definition, Miss Sagalino.
Theater of the Absurd is a drama using the abandonment of conventional dramatic form to portray the futility of human struggle in a senseless world.
So imagine a drama where the rules of the storytelling are thrown out the window. Instead of following a traditional plot with a clear beginning, middle, and the end, this drama dives headfirst into chaos. It's like watching Unravel on stage, with the characters grappling with the randomness and absurdity of their existence. So, showing how futile human struggle can feel in a senseless world. No neat endings here, just raw, unfiltered theater that leaves you questioning everything. Now, the last type is tragedy. Please read the definition, Miss Pueblas.
It is usually about the protagonist who goes through trials and tribulations that don't lead a happy resolutions via Study Smarter UK.
Tragedy is like a story where the main character faces one challenge after another, but things never quite work out in the end. It is not like your typical happy go lucky tale instead. It's filled with heartache, loss, and sometimes even doom. It is a genre that delves into darker aspect of the human experience, leaving the audience with a deep sense of reflection and empathy. So that will be the end of our discussion about the types of dramas. And the next topic will talk about drama in the Philippines, and that will be discussed by our next lecturer.
Once again, hello everyone, I am Joanna, and I will be your lecturer for the last topic, the drama in the Philippines. Drama in the Philippines, also known as teledrama, Filipino telenovelas, or P-drama, is a form of melodramatic, serialized, televised fiction in the Philippines. Teledrama is derived from two Filipino words, tele, short for television or television, and drama, drama series. Teledramas are those TV shows that air every weekday and are super popular in the Philippines. They're kind of like soap operas or telenovelas, but with their own Filipino style. Everyone watches them, no matter their age or gender, and they're addictive for advertisers. These dramas can go on for months or even years, depending on how people like them. For example, FPJ's Ang Provinciano, a 2015 Philippine action television series produced by ABS-CBN Studios. Based on the eponymous 1996 film, the series features an ensemble cast led by Coco Martin. It first aired on September 28, 2015 and became the longest-running ABS-CBN drama series in the 21st century, airing 1,696 episodes, and aired its final episode on August 12, 2022, marking an end to the action series. So, it's almost a 7-year-long run! But there are also shorter series called serials and anthologies that only last for only one season. Basically, they're active shows that give you a glimpse into Filipino life and culture. And that's how the drama in the Philippines. In conclusion, teledramas are an integral part of Philippine television, blending elements of soap operas and telenovelas while reflecting the unique social realities of Filipino society. Airing both in the afternoon and during prime time, these shows captivate audiences across age and gender lines, commanding the highest advertising rates in the country's television industry. And that's the end of our lesson in the history of drama. We hope that you've learned something and see you in the next meeting. Bye!
Thank you, Group 1 from BSHM 2